Now that you're comfortable with the automation mindset, let's walk through some key terms that you'll hear a lot within Zapier. For any automated workflow you want to build, you should have in mind the process you want to automate, the apps you want to use, the rules you want them to follow, and the information you want to move between your apps. These elements together make up what we call a Zap. It's our word for an automated workflow that connect your apps and services together. It doesn't matter what problem you're trying to solve or what rules you set. Any workflow within Zapier that contains these elements and run automatically is called a Zap. Each of these elements that make up a Zap also has a name. We've talked about a simple command that's the heart of any automation: when and do. When this happens, do that. In Zapier, we call the when the trigger. It's what kickstarts our automation to run. So let's use an earlier example. If we want our sales teams to receive an email in Gmail when there are new leads in Facebook, new leads in Facebook is the trigger because it comes first. You can't launch a Zap without a trigger. Once the trigger happens, the do command follows. We call that the action. If we want our sales team to receive an email in Gmail whenever there's a new lead in Facebook, emailing is the action. A Zap isn't complete without an action. You can also have multiple actions or do commands in your Zap, but it's not required. Take our Facebook example. We could also have a second action that also sends a message in Slack. Together, the trigger and the action are the rules your apps need to follow in your Zap. Every action your Zap completes successfully is called a task. If our Zap is sending our sales team email for a new Facebook lead, each email sent that has a new lead counts as one task. Tasks are only associated with actions. Previously, we talked about how the final piece to any Zap is making sure your app's data is in the right place. In Zapier, we break up your app's data in an easy-to-read placeholder format so we can decide what information you want to use and where you want it to go. Each placeholder is called a field. Think of a field like a mini container for each piece of data. In our Facebook example, we might get a ton of information about a new lead, but we might only be concerned with the name, the phone number, and the email. Each piece of information is a separate field, and we want to make sure these three fields are included in the email message our sales team receives. We know that that's a lot to take in, so let's review and put it all together. A Zap is a workflow that automatically connects your apps and services together to do something. For any Zap to launch, we need a trigger to come first. When this thing happens in an app, it kickstarts or triggers your automation. A Zap isn't complete without an action. When the trigger happens, do this action. Every action your Zap successfully completes is called a task. Tasks are always associated with actions. Each piece of data exchange is broken down and can be dropped in an easy-to-read placeholder we call a field. When you're building a Zap, you get to decide which field you want to use and where you want that information to go. Now that you got the lingo down, you're ready to build your first Zap. You'll need the automation cheat sheet, which is attached to this lecture. Have that ready, and we'll see you in the next lesson.